Hello. Very glad to see you. Well, if I can't see you, I'm seeing you. Louis C. Gross here, consultant for MSI, Manhood Shelter Incorporated. How you feeling today? I know how I'm feeling. Every time I look around, somebody wants some money. Wow. Now, as an advocate, as an activist, I get around the city. But my alma mater, Chicago State University, where I got my master's from, I've gone there and, I've been getting a lot of complaints. Number one, Ronald did, he gutted the place in the sense of no funding. And it's really a shame because here's a guy that went from church to church doing, the political situation, looking for votes. As soon as that was over, he's gone. He went to Meeks, he went to Corey Brooks, those churches, those people, representing him, and look what's happening. Just want to say that. And I just think that in Chicago State, I'm disappointed in what's going on. The personnel, like the washrooms are deplorable. There used to be a time when the janitor or the maintenance man would come into the washroom and clean it. He'd sign his name on the door, on a piece of paper. No such thing. What we're dealing with now, it's like, it's like, they just turn over to just do anything you want. There's no supervision, there's no leadership. I'm just really, really shocked and disappointed at what's happening in Chicago State. Now, we need help. And also, thanks to Ronna, the population over there went from 7,000 to 3,200. That's the enrollment there now. Can you imagine that? All because of Mike Madigan, Ronna, playing this contest with other people's lives. And you, the public, need to do something about it. In the sense of, no more marching. Let's deal with dropping a dime, like writing a letter or a postcard. You inundate these people and let them know that, you won't stand for this. Because at this point, this is going on the third year without a budget. And it's affecting everybody. And what Mike Madigan did with his daughter, that was really a shame. To have her, as Attorney General, and utilize her to try and force other people to do what he wants. It's time to hang it up. You got old. And then you bring other people into your foolishness. But one thing I do know, you're being exposed, both of you. Not to mention what's happening here. Not to even mention what's happening. Did you see, I can't believe it, the town meeting that was contrived? Because if anybody know about it, and then there's the vice mayor. If Whitney Young was alive right now, he'd turn over in his grave to see what happened that day. Carl, you on there? Go ahead.
Yes, sir. How you doing, my man?
Hey, Ray, what's happening, baby?
Yeah, you know what? I heard the saddest thing in my life I'd ever heard. They had a gangbanger on TV.
Yeah.
From Chicago. He was about 17, 18 years old, I guess. They had his face filmed, of course, because who it was.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a major network. And they said, the guy asked him, asked him, when did you start feeling love? And you know what he said?
What?
He says, when I got my first gun. When he gave me my first gun, I felt all the love I ever would need. Now, if there's nothing sadder than that.
You're not lying. Oh, God.
When I was growing up in these two properties, all my dad had to do was look at it.
Man.
If he raised his voice, you were in trouble. Now this young man, his life was gone. I felt love when they first gave me my first gun.
Fell in love with my first gun, huh?
Yeah, that love.
And that brings me to where I had my books of the week. Ray, you okay? Anyway, Ray just hit on something. Now here's a book for you, but this is an article by Mark Burling, The Dumbest Generation. He wrote this now. Mark Burling reveals how a whole generation of youth is being dumbed down by their aversion to reading anything. They don't want to read. anything of substance, and their addiction to digital crap via social media. You know, they'll do anything that's foolish and they'll put it on social media and don't expect a negative outcome from that. That's crazy. I hate to even use that word, but you know, let's face it. What we're seeing today is this backwards. Totally backwards. Here's another one. Psychology Today. It's a 2014 article. Anti-intellectualism and dumbing down of America. There's a growing and disturbing trend of anti-intellectualism, elitism in American culture. It's a dismissal of science, art, and humanities. That's science and art. That's art, music, and their replacement by entertainment, self-righteousness, ignorance, and deliberate gullibility. That's what's happening. I know you can see it. Even Ray Charles can see what's going on with our kids. Carl, you on there? Go ahead.
Yes, you told me to call back?
Yeah, well, go ahead. No, I'll just, you know, if you got anything else you want to say, go ahead.
Oh, yeah, you know, what's wrong with us?
You know what? I'm befuddled, bewildered, and bedazzled as to what's going on. But these articles state a lot about a new generation. But see, the generation is a byproduct of the old generation. So, you know, the old folks have to take a hand in this too. But go ahead, Ray.
Yeah, like I always said, it's us. Us.
Yeah. Poor parenting.
Always the same people that get elected. I don't care if you stole $1 billion. He'll get elected. The mayor.
Oh, wee.
Look out. You know.
Okay.
There's nothing left. And, you know, and I fought proudly for my country. There's nothing left that I would fight for except for this country. Not the way it's going.
Oh, it's going in the wrong direction, that's for sure.
Yeah, you know, so that's what I wanted to say. And
I appreciate it, Ray. Thank you. Caller, you on the air. We got another caller. Question or comment, caller?
Hi, Mr. Bradley?
Gross.
Hi, is Gator there?
No, matter of fact, I think he comes on after the congressman. Okay, thank you. Caller, you on the air. Question or comment?
Yes, and good afternoon to you. How
Hey,
you doing?
Stevie, what's going on?
You know what? You was asking something, but I'm going to just throw you somewhere back in time.
Go ahead.
You remember the last port they had that album out?
Yeah.
The revolution will not be televised.
Right, I remember.
How wrong were they? Social media is the great culprit of our crazy-ass people, young people that's running around here and being crazy.
Really?
And let me tell you, and put a little on the older people because we did not keep up with technology.
True. I'm a prime example.
Technology is so advanced that people not just don't know how to read and write. They just the only thing they do is copy. Let me try to make things even better. You have police departments that have 3 shifts. They work 6 days a week, looking at all this social media, and it's a mess. Whoever would suspect that you will go and rob somebody and come back on and show the people your money and everything else, and then show you how stupid they are. They want to know how they got caught. Last week, I saw something, and it was just amazing. The young lady on the west side, she driving down the street, and she's streaming this. Next thing you know, the guys come up, kill her boyfriend, kill her son, and shot her, all while she was driving. Who would ever expect that you could see something like this on in the year 2017?
Right.
Social media is just unbelievable.
It's true.
People that, such as us older people, we do not know what your kids or your grandkids doing. And then you got some older crazy people out here that's trying to dab in the thing. And then they want to know what happened to them when they get robbed or stuck up or something of that nature.
Right.
Again, technology is the corporate. The FAA, they ain't going to do nothing. Um, the agencies that own these social medias and the telephone companies, they just getting richer and richer.
Richer and richer.
And we getting dumber and dumber and stupid. We got to have accountability everywhere. So this is my thought of young people. Now, I could be wrong, but it's just my thought. So, I mean, that's something for everyone to need to think about. You're a hell of a guy, you know.
Oh.
I can't wait to see you come on. So anyway, let me tell you, let me get out this air and hear your thought and your comment about it.
Okay.
And I'll talk to you later.
Okay. Come on in. We have a heck of an educator. Come on over this way. Miss Kimberly Hobson. Come on. Yeah,
Hello,
thank you,
hello.
thank you. I just want to, in response to Steve, yeah, social media, you know, it's a pro or con situation. On the one hand, you get the message out. On the other hand, the negative aspect is that young people use it to do some deliberately terrible things and then expect a different outcome. That out the rabbit mind. But anyway, Miss Kimberly Hobson, compliance officer for Youth Connection Charter Schools and principal and educator. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank
my
you.
dear.
Thank you.
Tell us about, I'm okay. Tell us about yourself.
Well, thanks for giving me a new title, but I am the resource coordinator for Youth Connection. I have been a principal at Youth Connection Charter School and worked in other capacities as well as a model development coordinator and director, and also curriculum director is how I started out there back in November of 2007.
You know, when we mentioned curriculum, can you explain to our audience, because some people don't know what a curriculum is, can you expound on that a little bit?
Sure. Curriculum is the, I would say it's the tool, it's the avenue of how we teach students exactly what they need to know. And at YCCS, we have developed a curriculum that is focused on what students need to be able to do or demonstrate as a result of learning, and what they need to know. So they need to be able to know it and demonstrate it at high levels.
Thank you. And thank you too. At this point, I'd like to ask you, as an educator,
Yes.
what do you see education? What's your perspective on education as it's going, as in Chicago at this point? Truthfully speaking.
Well, education in Chicago, of course, I think education all over the United States. We just have a new Secretary of Education.
Right. Talking about vouchers in charter schools?
Yes.
That's right up some people's alleys, right?
Yeah, it is. And so education as we know it has the potential of changing from being free and appropriate public education to private education. And so that means a lot. And, you know, I think individuals need to understand what the impact of that would mean to education in our communities. And as Chicagoans, we are really already aware of how public education has been affected with school closings and funding that's been decreasing every year, and with Illinois having a whole funding halt right now because we are at a budget impasse. And so we need to understand what that means to our children, and I think that means we need to be very active in what we're saying about it, not just to each other, but to our people in office, the people that we voted for who are working for us, need to know what we feel about our children losing that right to free and appropriate public education. And so Chicago, as you probably know already, we have some families that are suing the state of Illinois because of the funding. And so we need to be very aware. We need to understand what the stakes are and how high those stakes are, and make sure that our voices are heard.
Thank you. I have a call, a question or comment. Caller, you on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, this is Steve. One more time.
Go ahead.
Let me tell you, the thing that I think that we need to do with our education system is, number one, cut out politics. We don't need no politicians
yes. I was getting ready to get to that.
Educational thing. People need to quit talking and, do something. Put a little few extra dollars into our educational fund. If you don't have no money, then get your butt up to the school and see can you volunteer and help yourself. We need to do something because only thing it's doing is getting worse.
Yes.
This is, again, the year 2017. Why you have books in your schools that's 40, 50 years old that you have kids to read? So, again, that's our politicians. Kick out the politicians, burn down the CPS system, start all over, and maybe we could get some kids in here to do something. I hate to say it. If you don't want to learn, then don't be there. Don't disturb other people who's trying to do things. If a teacher just there to get a paycheck, well, let her go somewhere else. Go to Walmart. Let the people who want to do something do what they do good. The educators should be the ones that are trying to do things to make the system run. Again, let me get out there.
Thank you. Hey, what do you think about this? Ray Williams wrote a book called Intellectualism and the Retreat from Politics.
Okay.
And a prime example is that the mayor's office.
Okay.
If you're not educated, then keep your hands out of that situation. The Peter Principle runs amok with this. Once you reach a level of you reach a level of incompetence. They push you up to the level of incompetence, and at that point, you plug with the whole system. Look what's going on right now.
Yeah, and I think that we see a trend that's kind of, we saw it go on an uprise, and now it's declining from the regulation of schools by the United States Department of Education. And as that increased from, I think it was LBJ who wrote signed the bill for Elementary and Secondary Education Schools Act. And so after that, the reiterations of that and the rewriting of that law has seen many different administrators from administrations in the White House kind of change it and tweak it a little bit to NCLB, No Child Left Behind,
that was
Race
Bush
to
and
the Top, and the Obama administration, and now it's changed again to Every Student Succeeds Act. And so the deregulation of education, I'm in support of, and that's my own personal belief is that we put bean counters in the place of educators. And
that's true.
Accounting does not necessarily work when you're working with individual students who have individual needs and who have where education is really important to really target the needs of those students and target in a way that helps them to develop the skills they need and the knowledge to be successful. And so I think this decline in regulation by the federal government may work for us in terms of, because we've at one point they were calling No Child Left Behind, No Test Left Behind, because it was just about testing our students and having this kind of cloud of threat over schools. Whereas if you don't achieve, you get closed down. If you don't achieve, you get fired. And so I think that we really need to focus on what is most important, and that's the child, the student. And if the student is not succeeding, then what do we need to do? And I don't think it's regulations. And we've seen that in the penal system as well. We put so many regulations, and we've moved away from the development of the incarcerated person to come back into society.
Now it's about a buck, because now they've put the penitentiary on it's privatized.
Yes.
Which that means, you got agencies dealing with the penitentiary in terms of money and not rehabilitation or reintegration back into quote-unquote free society. It's about matter of fact, black men and Hispanics are commodities. Just like gold, silver. We own the stock market. You know, and that's a shame. And you know, you have the power, but you sit there and watch Spongehead Bob and those clowns, and do nothing about what's happening in terms of your plight.
Yeah, and those are, I mean, these are my personal beliefs. You know, I'm not representing my organization with these, but I think that it's very important for, again, that we understand what this means. We have big corporations who are having products made in the prison systems by free labor, and we are now so ingrained in this that to break down this system would be a big issue to our economic system in the United States.
It's like a drug addict. If you all of a sudden goes into cold turkey, it's a complete shutdown.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be some strategies because and we need to recognize that these are the things that are happening, and so there's a big ripple effect. And the immigrants are a big part of this issue. Immigrants from Central America and Mexico, mostly, who are not really threatening the United States, but are coming into the United States for opportunity. But we're focused on immigration to
deport and put them back.
Deport people who are not threatening our system.
Right, you know, trying to work, and that's a shame because then you're cutting mothers and daughters away from each other.
Yeah.
You know, I just don't. It's just like George Orwell, 1984, Big Brother. You know, you got cameras and social media, and you know, it's not conducive for your growth if you really look at it. You look at our kids, man. They spend more time, you know, on Facebook and all this stuff rather than learning. And like the gentleman just said, you have books in the system that are 40 years old, first editions. I mean, come on, what's with that? And tell me, what's your solution? You have you're a principal. You know, what would you say as as a citizen?
As an individual?
Yes.
What is the solution to
what we're dealing with in Chicago right now in terms of politics superseding the rationale of educating our children? And do you think that we should have an elected school board, or get more people involved with trying to the educational process? You know, and you talked about regulations and all that. So, do you think that politicians should keep their hands out of the school business?
Well, I think that I don't know the answer to this question, but
I know you feel it, though, don't you?
Well, I do feel it, but I do think that it does take, and I hate to be, use cliches, but it does take the whole village.
I know, man. But the village is scaring these kids now.
I think that the issue is that part of the village is not speaking.
That's true.
And the people who have the most power, that's we as citizens, have the most power, and we're silent. And we're silent in our own communities. We're silent, locked in our homes, and you're saying that we're feeling unprotected and scared. So and so we're not talking, and we're not talking to the people who are able to make those changes. And we need politicians to make those changes. Yeah, they are responsible for developing policy.
Do you remember taxation without representation, the Stamp Act, the Tea Party Act, when they start throwing tea overboard because they wasn't being represented?
Yes.
And I look at, okay, I'm going to end with this. You have City Hall and General Assembly, Springfield. Right. And these people are not doing anything towards alleviating the problems that we have, which I really don't understand. You know, what is it? Look at City Hall here. It's a shame. Whatever the guy says, they rubber stamp it. You know, that's a shame. And look here. How many buildings do you have that are vacant that, you closed? Where's that money going?
I don't know. Again, I say we need to talk to our legislators,
right,
our aldermen, our state representatives and state senators and U.S. senators and U.S. reps, because they need to know what it is that we
they already know, I believe.
You think they know, but
they
need the power of, it's a power of many. It's just like the guy with the cell phone and said, he has all of these people behind him making sure that he can talk to anybody anywhere. So you have to have the people around you.
Okay, I want to thank you for coming on the show.
I appreciate you.
Thank
you so much.
She gave you a lot of knowledge. Look here, we got to wrap it up. But as always, you have a vote. You have a postcard sent in to your legislators.
Yes.
As always, if you feel as though you run out of rope, tie a knot and hang on. Everything's going to be okay. Peace.